So, uh, I think that the most important for us is to open our eyes and to choose the best for the patient. And it's a reason why I did that. The first point that if you analyze the biomechanic aspect of the superior reconstruction, capsular reconstruction decreases the superior translation of the humeral head. It's a very nice paper, a long time ago now. The second point that the superior capsular reconstruction decreases the subacromial contact pressure. It's clear. You see that many publications, 2016, 17. Regarding the thickness of the graft, is very important. If you use a graft of 4 millimeters, there is a high risk of rupture. And the second problem is the tension of the graft. If you do a graft with zero abduction, is not good. And it's important to respect the description of the technique reported by Dr. Miyata if you want to analyze our results. Many times you don't do a good copy of the original technique. It's the main reason why you talk that it's a bad technique. But before to do that, you have to analyze and you have to try to reproduce and you have to see Dr. Miyata maybe how does he does this technique. So, regarding a tendon transfer, this is an active action. There is tenodesis effect, but the most important is that the tendon transfer is active. So, when you have a mild imbalance, if you do a tendon transfer, you decrease pain, you stabilize the joint. If you have no active range of motion, if you have no external rotation, because you have no infraspinatus, no teres minor, if you do a tendon transfer, you restore a movement and we restore more strength. I am agree with Bassem because you have no pain and you restore more strength. If you want to restore abduction and elevation in pseudoparalytic shoulder, the result is not good. But you can restore active external rotation. So you have to respect the rules of the tendon transfer, same line of pull, same tension, same excursion, one transfer for one function, and normal strength of donor muscle. And you know that the best transfer, if you analyze all the transfer of the shoulder, I agree that this is a lower trapezius transfer. So you know that on the Jean-Cany and Pascal analyzed very well. There is a imbalance horizontal, like a lack of external rotation, lack of internal rotation with good elevation, and there is a lack of vertical motion, like lack of elevation. And we have some pseudoparalytic shoulder. For us, the pseudoparalytic shoulder is not an indication of tendon transfer. You see that we can restore elevation, and I prefer to use latissimus dorsi. External rotation, I prefer lower trapezius. And you can combine sometime, but pseudoparalytic for me definitively is a reverse prosthesis. But if you have no external rotation, you combine tendon transfer for reverse prosthesis. And I think that if we respect the pathology and the clear indication, you can obtain good result for your patient. And see very well, you know, this graphic with the excursion and tendon transfer, and you see that there is no idle tendon transfer. We are close the best, but not the same tendon. It's the reason why the result is not complete. So this is the work, you know, very well, latissimus dorsi for abduction, external rotation, and lower trapezius for external rotation. Regarding the fixation, I try to respect that, but in my experience, clinical experience, I don't see a big difference whatever you fix your aponeurosis band. I try to fix anteriorly if I want elevation. I try to fix posteriorly. Sometimes the muscle is big and the excursion after release is a short excursion. And sometimes I have some patient with big muscle, not tall, and I fix, even after a large release, I fix to the infraspinatus situation. So now, after the biomechanic, you have to see the result, and you see that this is the paper of Miyata regarding 24, and you see that he restore elevation, external rotation, and the acromial distance increase 8.5 on the very nice score in irreparable rotator cuff tear. So he used some time in pseudoparetic shoulder, and he proves that this technique can restore a degree of elevation. Patrick Donat in US with Burkhardt, because Burkhardt developed a patch with Artrex, he published this theory. The results are different, and it's very interesting that there is a 75% of success, 45% of the patch was held on MRI control, and there is no difference between the patient with L scapular reconstruction and not healed. This is a very point important. And 80% revision, including reverse prosthesis. You see that Patrick didn't find a very big difference if the patch heal or if the patch doesn't heal. And for me, is a question. Regarding the latissimus dorsi transfer, this is our theory, and this is a result that we publish regarding forward elevation, and it's very important that if you are able to repair partially the infraspinatus, the result is better. You see that the constant score is around 60, 65. The function is 70%, and you can restore elevation 160 degrees. And there is a significant difference if you repair partially the cuff. And many publications prove that if the subscapularis is intact and if you have a teres minor, you have a better result of latissimus dorsi transfer. And Gerber proves that 15 years ago. Regarding the lower trapezius transfer, you know that it's good to correct the Hornboner sign and dropping sign. So this is a paper very interesting because she compared his route de la nef from Ireland, and she compared latissimus dorsi transfer versus superior capsular reconstruction for the same patient. This is massive posterior superior cuff tear and no pseudoparetic shoulder, and the conclusion was that is significant. Superior capsular reconstruction improved better forward elevation. Latissimus dorsi improves better external rotation. And I think that maybe we can combine. I show you a video of, can you put the video? And I decided to combine this is a short video, 3 minutes. I decided to combine latissimus dorsi. The key point is, you know very well, Gervasi describes that. This is a white aponeurosis band. We separate from the teres major posteriorly, anteriorly. This is a very nice band. Here, you cut the extension and you cut in medial rotation of the arm, you cut the latissimus dorsi. So after you release, I use the peanuts many times because this is atraumatic, and after I use a crack of suture, 8 centimeters, blue on green, to separate blue laterally, green medially, to have a good fixation. This is a pedicle. You see that 10 centimeters from the axillary nerve, from the axillary artery, 10 centimeters. There is no dangerous, and you separate to simulate. And after you go to the joint, you do the way between the posterior deltoid and the teres minor, if you have teres minor, and with a shuttle relay, you go to the posterior portal, and after you fix it by arthroscopy. And in this situation, I fix to the insertion of the infraspinatus, and after I use a patch described by Miyata for the supraspinatus and teres minor. And this is the space, and you pull from posterior to anterior the latissimus dorsi, you see, and you fix with 2 anchors. At the beginning with Jean Cany we fix in the tunnel, but he described very well that a high rate of rupture, and now we put 2 anchors at the insertion of the infraspinatus. Another anchors here is not very difficult, you see that? It's less difficult than to repair partially the cuff. And after you prepare the fixation medially with the glenoid with 2 anchors, laterally with a double row. I respect the technique of Dr. Miyata with fiber tape, and I use a patch of Artrex, and I fix it. And after I do a suture of anteriorly between the patch and the subscapularis. You see, this is the subscapularis. And I try to do a suture between the subscapularis. And you know that there is a revascularization of the patch sometimes by the tendon around the patch. Okay, this is you see that is the mobility. I try to respect 30 degrees of abduction, and here. Okay, I did four cases, and I have no result now, but I continue, and I will present next year my result. So the first conclusion, it seems that if you compare tendon transfer latissimus dorsi with superior capsular reconstruction, is comparable, and Ruth Delaney did this, and Eric Wagner in United States did the same study. Eric Wagner was fellow with Bassem and J.P. Warner. But you see that the result is partial, and we have 20% of failure. Is the reason why. Superior capsular reconstruction is a passive, tendon transfer is active. And I think that if you stabilize the shoulder with the capsular reconstruction, and you bring active motors for external rotation or for elevation, we think that we imagine, I hope so, that the result will be better and the rate of failure decrease. Maybe we can combine. If you want to restore the anatomy, if you want to improve the biomechanics of the glenohumeral joint, why you don't combine? This is my question. But I try to prove that it's better to combine the 2 techniques. Thank you, Bassem, and thank you, Miyata, for your work in your direction. I try to combine your 2 directions. Thank you.
Thank you.